Hello friends, my name is Bhautik. Today is 3rd of May. 3rd of May. I am going to tell you about the next chapter. We will start that power versus force, the new horizon in the research. New horizon in the research. We will talk about it in this in this lecture. Our concern thus far has been primarily to clarify that the structure of the autonomy of consciousness, with some reference to the mechanism of force and power. But in no sense is this a purely technical subject, and the unique nature of this research method described herein allowed the exploration of het- hetero in inaccessible areas of potential knowledge in the application of the most everyday participating questions for the most advanced theoretical exploration. Let's investigate the few general examples. Social problems. Drug and alcohol addiction is the crucial social concern and the feed of the parallel problems of crime, poverty, and the welfare education. Addiction has proved that often social and clinical problems thus far off the understood beyond the most basic dependencies. But the term of addiction weakened clinical addiction and the classical sense of the continued dependency on the alcohol or drug despite the serious consequences. A conditional condition executing the capacity of the user discontinued use of the substance united because the will itself has been related the ineffective. But what is the essential nature of addiction, and what is the addict really hooked on? The common belief of the that it's the substance itself which is the victim of has become addicted due to the substance power to the create high state of euphoria. But if we re-examine the nature of addiction through the methodology outlined here, a different formula of the process emerged. Alcohol of the drug do not have the power to create a high at all. They celebrate only 100 the level of vegetables. The so-called high that the drug of the alcohol user experience, however, can celebrate by the from the 350 to 600. The actual effect of the drug is merely to suppress a lower energy field, thereby allowing the user to actually experience the higher ones. It is through the filter screen out all the lower tones coming out the orchestra, so that all could be heard via the high notes. This the suspension of the low notes doesn't create a high ones. The merely relevance them within the level of consciousness. The higher frequency are the extremely powerful, and the few people routinely experience this the pure state because of they masked by the lower energies field of the anxiety, fear, anger, re- restraint, and the so on. Really, does the average person get experience for the instance love without fear of the pure joy, much less escape by the but the higher state are so powerful at the that once they have been expired, they are never forgotten, and therefore the sort of the ever fighter. It is to this experience of the higher state that people become addicted. A Google a good instructor is the precedence in the classical movie Lost of Horizon. As a concept of Sring, Srangila, celebrate a 600 once expired the it reprograms the experience so that He never content with the ordinary consciousness again. The hero of the movie discover the fact when the after running of the Srila is the unable to find happiness in the ordinary world. He then give up the every time in the order seek out the return to that state of consciousness, spending years in the struggle which almost cost, cost him his life to find the Sri Lanka again. This same reprogramming process occurs in the peoples who have reached the high state of consciousness by the other means, such as a near-death experience of the experiencing this simply through the intense meditation. Such as an individual are the frequently observed to have a change forever. It isn't uncommon of them live of all the material world represent and become a seeker of truth. Many who had a translated experience with the LSD in the 1960s did the same thing. Such higher state are also attained through the experience of the love and the religion, classical music and art, or through the practice of the spiritual disciplines. The high state of the people seek by the weather whatever means it affects the experience field of their own consciousness. If they are spiritually unconscious and the lack of context with, with which to compare experience, they believe it's created from the something out there. But all that has actually happened in there is that under special circumstances they have experienced what is in reality. In the here majority of the people are so discovered from their own states of pure consciousness. They don't have recognized them when they experience them, because their identity with their own lower ego state and their own lowest common denominators. A negative self image boards out a jealous brilliance. That is the true essential of their identities, which therefore goes unrecognized. That jealous, peaceful, fulfilled stage is really on so on. Ascension has been a basic tenet of every great spiritual leader. For the example, the kingdom of the God is the within you. A high is the a high is any state of consciousness above the one's customary level of the awareness. Therefore, a two person who lives in fear, moving up to anger for the instance, real returns and protester, is a high fear and latest feel better than the despair, and the pride feels the better than fear. Acceptance is the much more comfortable than the cause. Love make any lower state feel comparatively uncheck, unrejective, while the joy spreads all lesser human emotional is cast in the really felt emotion in the class by itself. The most sublime experience of all, the state of infinity, infinite pace of the executive that believes all attempts at the description. The higher an attempted of each these states, the greater its power to the reprogram a subject entire life. Just one instance of the very high state can be completely change person's ordinary ordination and the life of well his goals and values. It can be said that individual who was in the no more and the new person is born out the experience through the hard one progress on the disciplined spiritual path. This is the very mechanism of spiritual evolutions. The permanent high state experience that may be ligament attention only through a lifeline of dedication inner work can be reached by the artificial means temporary, but the balance of the natural delicates than artificial technique that stay without having earned it create a depth. The permanent high state experience that may be legitimate attended only through the lifetime dedication inner work can be reached by the artificial means temporarily. But the balance of the natural disasters that to artificial techniques that state without having earned to create a debt. In the negative imbalance result is the in the negative concept consequences. The cost of such stolen pures is the depression of addiction, and the finally both the addict and the society pay the price. Our is the society that idealize the pure pleasures, hard work, sustain, self-sacrifice, retain, and the corpens pleasure in the most of the it's simple forms, the frequently even declaring the legal. In our society, unfulfilled promise are the increment are the ligament, but the satisfaction is denied. Commercial sexual allowed for the instant is used to sell products endlessly, but the enjoyment of the actual commercial sex is the Freudian immortal.